Hello everyone, it's DuckFairy07. Today we are playing Esper Vial. This archetype was my first OTJ brew and build I liked most, with including Satoru. Okay, so in the meantime I posted several builds on Twitter about this build. My first build was very similar to this one, but with Grief and some not dead after alls and some black creatures instead. Grief was really good in this build, but I didn't really like the black creatures I included to support it. Bowmasters was fine, but Tide Hollow Scholar was really mediocre. It was another black creature I played, which is good with Vial, good with Ephemerate, and good for this type of deck, but card itself just wasn't doing the thing I wanted it to do. So that was the reason. The quality of black cards in a deck, I felt it wasn't sufficient, and I decided to go with Subtlety. Then I posted this build on Twitter and I did a lot of gameplay with it. I liked it a lot, and I think this is my favorite way to play it. I played multiple leagues with it, tweaking it, and this is my favorite list. So we had a lot of Satoru interaction. Aether Vial, I think it's among best card that supports Satoru and make it go really crazy. I really liked a Soulherder interaction with it. When you have both these cards out, it can really go crazy very fast. And we got Ephemerate and Essence Flux as 5th Ephemerate, as additional Satoru and Soulherder, of course, interaction, which works well with free elementals. Cryptic Coat also drawing you cards if you have Satoru on the field. That's just pretty neat. And I would say like Charming Prince is my flex one-off in this build, but this card is really quality. In this archetype it triggers Satoru, blinking a creature. There's a lot of creatures worth blinking here, so blink effect is very desirable. So I think it's a good fit, and I was definitely thinking between playing second Apparition in main and going with 1/1 with Charming Prince, but I really liked this build, and this is my tweaked list after doing multiple leagues with it. Okay, so on the sideboard I really like these cards like Requisition Raid, Dawnbringer Cleric as a pretty cool one-off on the side, Lion Sash, it can be really useful, Stoneforge Mystic tool to hate on the graveyard, and it can be a decent target. In some matchups, of course, rest in peace, so 3 graveyard hate pieces here. With Dawnbringer Cleric, it's also 4. Second Apparition, Prismatic Ending, some Forces, Tidebinders, and some Shielded Edicts to deal with mostly like Scion Draco combo. And that's it, so let's go check out the gameplay. Okay, here it is, match 1. Let's see how it went. The deck performed very well. I was very happy with it, and this is definitely a brew I'm going to play in the future again. Try to tweak it if needed. And definitely the build I'm considering making a sideboard guide for on my dictionary. Okay, so here it is. Started off with Vial. I have Subtlety, Stoneforge Mystic, Satoru. Opponent starts with Territorial Kavu, and I think I definitely want to use Subtlety on this to try to slow them down. Territorial Kavu attacking is a lot of value. Okay, so here I pick up the Vial, play my Stoneforge, and I can grab the Cryptic Coat or Kaldra, whatever. I decided to go for the Cryptic Coat because next turn it looks sweet to like just Vial in Satoru and play Cryptic Coat, draw a card, draw actually 2 cards. That's very sweet. Okay, so here I go for the Satoru, I draw from Satoru, but I draw even a better play here. I even have multiple Soulherders, so I can just go Soulherder here and blink Stoneforge Mystic, try to grab another equipment and also draw a card, grow my Soulherder. Pretty powerful plays, and yeah, here Only threat right now is my opponent finding the Scion of Jaco. That is the only thing I was afraid right now, and my opponent finds it, plays a Wild Nacatl, really difficult position, but this deck is so powerful that somehow I was able to get out of Territorial Kavu plus Scion of Jaco, Wild Nacatl, because this really gets crazy. The Soulherder plus Satoru thing, you can really just draw so much cards, and here I blink the Stoneforge, which makes me find another equipment and draw a card. It's a lot, really, growing your Soulherder in meantime, and yeah, now I have Kaldra on the field, so they can't really attack with Kavu, and that is what secured me the game here. Okay, so I go for Ephemerate, digging more here. You can see finding me Otawara, but I was really looking to try to find Skyclave Apparition. Otawara is fine, but it only bounces one ley line and they can recast it again. Okay, so here I go for another Soulherder. This means I have Solitude. I really need that Skyclave. Okay, I go for the Cryptic Coat, drawing me another card, and now I can actually like exile my own creature to gain some life to get more time until they do more damage. Okay, so here I do more Soulherder abilities, draw more cards with Satoru, and finally I find the Skyclave Apparition card I really wanted. Okay, so I also have Subtlety, so I can jump the Scion of Jaco. Okay, so a lot going on here. I go for Survey Land, put another fetch in the graveyard, and just discard something and pass the turn. Okay, so opponent going just with Scion here. They don't really have better attack. My Soulherder is very large now, also have Kaldra, so no good attacks for them. Opponent goes Flames Face and pass the turn. Okay, now finally I have a Skyclave Apparition on target. I use the Essence Flux to remove another ley line, and now I can use Solitude, Otawara, whatever, to just bounce the Scion or kill it, and it's just a very bad situation for the opponent. This deck really digs a lot of cards. You can see a lot of cards. You can dig very well to find this one of a Skyclave Apparition. Post board there is a second one, and Prismatic Endings to deal with stuff like that. And yeah, the deck really has so much card draw that it is able to dig your way out of troubles like this one. Okay, so here it is. You can see me drawing more cards, and yeah, it's just too much right now, so I don't really want to use the Solitude on their Scion, because in case they draw Tribal Flames, I wanted to be able to like maybe use it on my creature to gain life, so that's why I use the Aegis here to exile their Scion, of course. And yeah, okay, so now I'm passing the turn. I have Subtlety ready, I have Solitude. There's just no chance anymore for my opponent to do much, and I play Solitude on their Scion, and yeah, I can even start attacking now, and my opponent concedes. That is the game. Let's check out game 2. Okay, so let's see the sideboarding plan. I got Prismatic Endings in a second Skyclave Apparition, of course, trimming some cards like one Essence Flux, one Soulherder, two Subtleties, which is maybe strange, but I wanted to make more room for real removal. Subtlety is good, but 4 can be sometimes too much, so I decided to just keep 2. And here I have Prismatic Ending there, a Cavo, and I have a lot of interaction here. Assimilation Aegis, Skyclave Apparition, Requisition Raid, so there is a lot here to do, and my opponent is very low on cards, and this game is basically already over. Just have too much interaction here. Okay, opponent of course still has Leyline of the Void on the field, and if they draw into the Sign of Draco, that is they can put themselves in a good situation, but I have answers to stuff like that too. Okay, so I didn't want to play anything here, just holding a Subtlety and then Solitude for a turn after. Don't want to tap out. I'm really interested in hard casting the Subtlety to start attacking opponent, playing a lot of creatures, and they don't even bother. Just they didn't draw into another threat, and they had a weak hand this game too, so they conceded. That is the match. Okay, so let's go check out the next one. Okay, again starting with Aether Vial. I have Satoru, turn 2, Cryptic Coat, triggering Satoru is pretty sweet. Okay, so you want to be careful when you have Satoru in hands like this one. If opponent Prismatic Ending is your Vial or whatever, so you don't find maybe like basic planes, so you can just cast Satoru turn 2 if needed. But if you have a choice, it's probably better to just Vial it in, wait a turn. Okay, so here my opponent doesn't have a solution for the Vial, and that is great news for me. Because yeah, Vial's doing a really good job here, playing around, just not caring about their counterspell. I still give them the chance to use it, but yeah. Okay, so here I go, Vial in Satoru and play cards I can't Vial in, so yeah, they use their counterspell, that's completely fine. And yeah, passing the turn here, my opponent Bone Crusher plus Fire Ice my Satoru, which means they're not playing the regular blue-red Murktide, but probably the Wizards version. And I have a second Satoru, sorry, here, and also the third one in my hand. So Satoru drawing another card, posing another threat they need to kill. And yeah, opponent here goes Brazen Borrower, my Aether Vial, which is totally fine. I can still just hold mana for Subtlety, play my Aether Vial, see if they use counter or not, just start attacking, and my position is pretty good in this game. Holding interaction, attacking, opponent only has 3 cards, so I'm in advantage regarding number of cards too, and the Ephemerate draw is also just really solid, and Survey lands in my deck are really good. Okay, I have 2 of those. Okay, opponent decides to counter the Subtlety, resolve their Borrower, and I have some options here, but decide to scam in the Solitude, kill the Borrower. In meantime, I'm drawing cards from Ephemerate and Solitude triggers, so I don't lose any cards in hand. Just put Solitude on the field and draw more cards with Ephemerate, and opponent just concedes the game here. So let's check out the game 2. Okay, so Aether Vials are really strong with Satoru, and I really like hands when I have a lot of those. Okay, so opponent is tapped out, so I can use my Aether Vial on turn 1. They have problems dealing with this, so I really want to make sure I get my basics out in case they board in Blood Moon. Okay, so here they counter my Vial, so they didn't board out counter spells, which I usually board out at least a couple of counter spells when playing against a wild deck. And here I go for the Survey Land, and now I can Vial in Satoru. That's just pretty powerful. Don't need to rush this. Okay, so I was hoping for them to try to double spell to kill my Satoru, and then I just bounce it back to my hand with Otawara, and that's like exactly what happened. Okay, opponent surveils on their turn and then tries to flame slash my Satoru, but I have Otawara. Opponent can kill it in response, and it's like a great little trick for me that really puts me ahead. And now I can play the land, have 4 mana here, draw cards with Satoru, and try to hold mana for Subtlety, but I decide to just try to play the Wall of Omens and Charming Prince, but my opponent decides to counter both of these spells. Maybe that was unnecessary. Probably would be better just holding mana for Subtlety, but yeah, that would probably be the better choice, just passing their turn, not doing basically anything. But yeah, again, I'm in just very good situation. I'm ahead of the opponent for number of cards in hand, and also just card quality. Surveilling a land in the yard again, and now my Vial is on 4. And yeah, okay, so I decide to go for the Satoru again. I draw another one, and yeah, this time I'm not drawing from Satoru, but I am vialing in my Subtlety to use on theirs. And yeah, again I have good creatures on the field. Opponent was able to kill my Satoru again, but it's fine. They are on 0 cards in hand. I have my Subtlety here as attacker, and also Solitude, great card against this blue-red decks. So very good position. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so I have this deck has a good top decks. I just went for the Wall of Omens, but my opponent was able to find Snap into Lorien again. I Vial in Solitude, continue attacking, and yeah, my opponent, I guess, didn't find relevant spells in their draw tree, so they conceded next turn, and that was the match. Okay, so let's check out match 3. Okay, so opponent, yeah, this was pretty brutal game. I remember this one. It's so brutal against Scam. Okay, here they try to scam Grief on turn 1, but instead I scam Subtlety. On turn 1 they put Grief on top, and I was hoping for that to happen. And I have a lot of white cards in my hand, so I was gambling on drawing a white card there, and I did get it. So I start attacking with Subtlety here. Opponent tries to scam Grief again, and this time I just exile the Grief with Solitude, and they don't have anything to discard here. So really powerful situation for me. Okay, so here I continue attacking with Subtlety. I have 3 lands on the field, and finding the Wall of Omens here. to which finds me Stoneforge Mystic, which gives me more good cards, more pressure, but unfortunately opponent has Kroxa to discard my Stoneforge. I find Soulherder, which is great here, drawing me a card and also just growing the Soulherder out of the Bowmaster's range, and opponent untaps and concedes the game. That is it. So let's check out game 2. Pretty brutal game against the Scam. Just complete destruction. Had everything you wish to have when you're playing against Scam. Okay, here it is, the sideboarding plan. I just trimmed on some draw cards, like one Satoru, one Wall of Omens, one Soulherder. It can be slow on the draw if they just Bowmaster, it can be pretty bad. I decided to also trim the Flux, and there are definitely cards to bring in. Also one Vial. I often trim one Vial in the mid-range matchups, not ones that play counterspell though, but ones that do not. Okay, opponent had a really good hand here, double Doughty, Fable, and they just raised me pretty well here. Didn't find the relevant spells, so yeah, let's check out game 3. I think this is a pretty good hand to keep when playing a fair game against Scam. Double Stoneforge, plus removal, plus subtlety, that's pretty decent. Okay, so here I decide to go for a basic and play the Stoneforge, grab Kaldra. I decide to grab Kaldra, just go for test my luck with Stoneforge, because I have another one in hand, and Kaldra really wins games against them very easily. Then I surveil another land to the yard and pass the turn. Opponent again has to kill the Stoneforge. If they don't, then I put Kaldra in the field, and they really have a hard time dealing with Kaldra. Okay, so here I put, as I said, I put Kaldra on the field. I have Shielded Edict, which I can save, or I can just play the Satoru. Yeah, and play Satoru, hold a Subtlety. A Subtlety drawing me card with Satoru is pretty sweet, and I decide to go for it here. But opponent plays Bowmasters in response. I think that is fine. I get to draw a card, they get to do another damage, kill my Stoneforge, but Stoneforge already did a great job, so that's completely fine. Opponent attacking with Doughty and passing the turn. Okay, so here I go for third basic, and now I hardcast the Solitude, exile the Doughty, continue attacking. My opponent plays Kroxa again. Kroxa is fine, but if they resolve it, but here I find another Solitude from on the top, which is pretty hard for my opponent to deal with, and I play that again. Save my Satoru from double block, and opponent is now on 3 life. I have many lethal attackers for the next turn, and opponent concedes. That is the match. And yeah, let's check out match 4. Okay, pretty sweet. Ephemerate, Essence Flux, Satoru. If you're patient enough and if you can afford it, then you get to violin Satoru with Essence Flux, Ephemerate out, which can be like really strong. Okay, of course, I was playing first here, so that makes this play also easier for me. So passing the turn, I have option to just scam in the Subtlety if I want, but I don't find it necessary here. I can probably hold for a to get full value from Satoru, but when they play the Soulscar Mage, I decide to just go for the Subtlety scam. prevent them from pressuring me, attacking with Channeler there, and just pass the turn, not doing anything else. That's pretty good. Okay, so here I do the Surveil, I keep Stoneforge on top. That's a pretty good card here. Okay, so what you need to do here is just stack the triggers that way that you put counter on your Aether Vial first. Then I can vial in a Satoru and then use Ephemerate to draw another card. This is definitely the way you need to play this, and my opponent fails hugely here by trying to unholy hit my Satoru and not really killing it. So yeah, that unholy hit was pretty useless and pretty bad for the opponent. Okay, opponent attacks with Channeler here. I decide to trade with Subtlety. Channeler is pretty good threat in their deck, so yeah. Okay, there's that, and I decide to plus the Vial and play the Aegis, remove another Channeler and let the Soul Scar Mage attack me. They only have 2 cards in their hand, and here I blink the Satoru again. Drawing more cards. I have another Stoneforge for the next turn, finding me either Kaldra or Cryptic Coat, which draws me another card with Satoru, and it can get crazy with Soulherder on the field. If you hit good stuff with Cryptic Coat, then you get them back, and yeah, it's really powerful. Okay, so that's it. Game 1. Let's check out game 2. And also the sideboarding plan. I'm definitely considering making a sideboard guide for this one on my dictionary profile. As I said, it was my among my I think it was my first OTJ brew, and the one I was really excited to try and really loved it. The gameplay, the Soulherder being good again, and I think MH3 is going to upgrade this deck a lot by that new Fox that is similar to Soulherder. It blinks anything when it attacks, and it fits the strategy very well. I think it's going to be a pretty sweet upgrade. Okay, so here I decide to keep Ephemerate in this situation rather than just casting the Vial. Maybe it wasn't the best decision, but Proves deck can really be aggressive, and with the Slickshot show off I wanted to hold Ephemerate Solitude for their turn. Okay, so I decide to go for it, just exile the show off, try to use the Ephemerate. Maybe that was too risky, but I think, yeah, I slowed them down significantly, and I have another removal in my hand. I have Wall of Omens, which blocks their creatures well, and I have another Aegis, Skyclave on top. So pretty good situation, but yeah, opponent also has a Channeler, and they play strong cards like Otherworld Breach, which can get them far ahead. And Skyclave Apparition is really good against decks like Prowess. Even if they kill it, they only get like a 1/1, which I block well with my Voles and all other creatures. Okay, so here opponent goes for Giganta. I have Aegis to deal with that, so doing pretty good here. Still, it's a top deck war. It's a good game. Yeah, and I play Aegis, remove the Giganta, and pass the turn. So both players in the top deck mode, and here they find Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach was the best card probably they can find here, and they went for the Breach, getting back double Channeler, playing a Mishra Bubble for a couple of times, drawing them more cards, And yeah, but I was able to Prismatic Ending one of the channelers, equip my Wall with Aegis. This is pretty cool. Equipping a Wall with Aegis makes your Wall able to attack, but they got too much stuff going on here. Find a good top decks, and yeah, my Aegis plan did not work out, so I had to deal with this in game 3. But I think making your Wall into really strong attacker using Aegis is pretty cool. Okay, so here I had to mulligan on 5 in game 3, but I think this deck mulligans pretty well. There's just a lot of card draw, a lot of powerful engines like a Soulherder, which can get you the cards back pretty fast. Okay, so I decided to go for the survey land here, keep the land on top, and now I can just Prismatic Ending and surveil again, or go for the walls. Of course, both options are decent. I decide to go for the wall, and then if they tap out, I can just go for the Soulherder, blink the wall again, draw cards, but I find a Rest in Peace, which is pretty good card against them. Makes their Unholy Heats just do 2 damage, basically kills their Channeler, but Channeler does a lot even with Rest in Peace on the field, so that is why I decided to use the Prismatic Ending on it anyway. And yeah, opponent goes for Iteration and finds a Soul Scar. But yeah, Rest in Peace is pretty good. And I was able to find Surveil, another Subtlety on top. And I draw it with Soulherder immediately, use Subtlety on their Slickshot show-off. They had 5 cards in hand, I had 0 cards. I have no idea what it was, but they decided to just immediately concede to my Subtlety pitchcast, and that was the match. Yeah, okay, so let's check out the only loss in this league. Okay, again, a pretty decent hand. We got Vial, we got Wall, Ephemerate, Satoru. This is pretty sweet. And yeah, unfortunately, I lost a game to the matchup I didn't really expect to see. You don't see this much anymore in the leagues. Just a regular mono red, not a mono red burn, but a Rakdos burn. Yeah, definitely don't see this one a lot, but yeah, here I was able to play Wall of Omens turn 2, preventing Goblin Guide for attacking me further. And I definitely have ways to win this one, but I need to find my Solitude. Then probably just easiest way is to scam the Solitude in and then start gaining life with it. So okay, opponent successfully kills my Wall of Omens, and I'm now on 6 life and 5 life. I play the Soulherder, start drawing more cards and stabilizing here. Opponent finding a land, buying me more time to try to do something. I find a Solitude on top. That is definitely card I want to find here, and now I have Solitude, I have Ephemerate. I need just another white card to scam my Solitude and basically win this game. Finding Charming Prince is also great card in the main deck against a burn. It's gaining me 3 life, and I have a bunch of Ephemerate effects which can just easily win me this matchup. Also, Dawnbringer Cleric can be used in a similar fashion. Here I Ephemerate the Solitude, drawing more cards, growing my Soulherders, and opponent concedes. That was good game 1. But unfortunately I lost another 2 games against burn. Let's see the sideboarding plan. As I said, Dawnbringer Cleric is a decent option. Here I decided to sideboard all my Stoneforge Mystics and all the equipment I had to bring in some stuff from the sideboard. I think free spells are good against them. Definitely want the scam spells. And my hand was a bit too slow against what they had here. Okay, I decided to go for the Solitude here. I just have to get rid of the Switch Spear. It will do too much damage. Okay, I can go for the Survey Land. And then just play the Swamp, play the Satoru, hold the Subtlety. That's pretty good. If I don't use the Subtlety, I can just go for the Soulherder. And I think this is pretty decent situation for me. I got Satoru on the field, I can start attacking. And there's also Ephemerate now, so I can even scam Subtlety if needed. But I decided to go for the Soulherder. So if they don't have, if they want to kill Soulherder, they have to use burn spell on it, and I'm fine if they do that. So I'm kind of guaranteed that I will draw a card here, start growing my Soulherder, making it a bigger attacker. And the opponent just pass the turn again, and it kind of start looking pretty good for me. I have Ephemerate, I have a Subtlety, and I'm attacking for damage, doing the Soulherder ability each turn. Okay, then I go here for Soulherder again, of course. Opponent then starts playing their burn spells. I didn't find stuff I needed here. And the opponent finds a Thunderous Threat. This is pretty amazing top deck for them. This means if they have another 3 mana spell, they get to win instantly. And that was probably the only top deck which worked for them to win this one, because next turn I would have Dawnbringer Cleric and I could gain 2 life, then Soulherder it end of turn to gain 2 more life, and it would probably be game over. So the Thunderous Threat was amazing, miracle, yeah, definitely miracle top deck for them. And yeah, that is how I lost the trophy in this run. Okay, I keep Solitude Scam plus Vial with Satoru. I think this is pretty good deal. Okay, so here I have I find another white card, so I can go for the Solitude Scam, but first I play the Satoru as a blocker here. Yeah, this was probably the wrong decision. In response to them killing the Satoru, I decide to pitchcast the Solitude, kill the Goblin Guide, and ditching the Ephemerate, and this made me not able to scam the Solitude, so no gain life for me. And yeah, they had too much cards in their hand, and they find a Thunderous Threat again from the top, which also just boosted their game plan, and they just find immediate kill. I can gain 1 life with the Soulherder here, but it's not enough. So that is the match, and the only loss against the Burn. Really close that game 2. Game 3 not really, but I think I should have gone for the Ephemerate and Solitude. They had a removal for my Solitude though anyway, so it wouldn't probably matter, but yeah. Charming Prince in the main also, and the Downing Cleric, good cyber cards for the matchup, but I wasn't really preparing for the Burn matchup. It's not really a popular deck at the moment, so that's it, at least on online. of course. So yeah, that's it. I really like this build. I spent a lot of time on it and doing just various Soulherder, Aether Vial brews from the first day of OTJ, and this is my this is the one I like the most at the moment. And I don't feel like tight binders are good enough at the moment for the main deck, but I really like them on the sideboard. They're really efficient in some matchups like Tron, Yawgmoth, Amulet, but can be really dead against blue-red decks. And Province is really popular right now, and other blue-red strategies always there also. So yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you for watching. Friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe. Tell me, how do you feel about subtlety version of this deck? You can check out the grief version also on my Twitter if interested. I think that version also has great potential, but I need better maybe change some black cards in that build, which could work better than stuff like Tight Skull's Color or something like that. There are definitely more options. MH3 also coming out. I think that will be a huge boost for archetype like this, but yeah, MH3 will bring a lot of stuff, and yeah, it's very questionable what will be after MH3 release. Okay, that is it for now. Again, thank you for watching and goodbye.